Alright, so for my very first project, I want to start with this. Now I need a vise, and just so happens, oh, it's stuck. There has been one sitting here all along. So, let's go get it in the workshop, clean it up. So here it is in a little bit better light. It's a chair we're working on and a boat we're working on. But this is what I want to deal with today. So it does open, it does move, which is really good, because I wouldn't know how to fix that. But it does seem okay inside. Let's get some light on. And we'll clean this all up and restore it. Make it look beautiful again. Alright, let's start with getting all the rust off. So I just tried it, and it doesn't actually move. So I'm going to have to figure out if it's just stuck on the sides or somewhere, or if it's actually broken. And then see if I can fix that somehow. I guess it'll be an adventure after all. Alright, well, let's give it a try. Alright, so we knocked off most of the heavy rust. As you can see, it's looking a lot more shiny. And now we're going to see if we can get the action to move. I just used an angle grinder with a grinding disc on it. Of course, if you're going to do that, safety glasses, definitely a mask, and some really good gloves. Other than that, let's get to work with the hand stuff. Get the sandpaper out and start scrubbing and see if we can get this thing to move. Alright. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting a little lubricant, spraying it on there. I did manage to get the arm to move, so we're good to go on that. Just spray down the arm, take a sanding block, and just go in it. That was a little difficult with one hand, but I just wanted to show you how the process works. And the lubricant really helps just to break up the rust. And you can see, it just kind of rubs off. I don't know if you can see that real good, but if I see the shine starting to come through again. Alright, so I just wiped it off, just to sort of give you a look at what we're doing with here. There's a little bit of damage, if it'll focus. There's a little bit of damage on it. You can see there. But it shouldn't be too bad. That won't hurt anything. We'll get the ball cleaned up. Yeah, works pretty well. Just a little bit of lubricant and a block of sandpaper. You can just regular sandpaper or whatever, but we'll get working on all the big surfaces here. Focus. And get it all cleaned up. Still have to see if I can get the actual arm to move. I'll have to probably do some real good scrubbing and lubricating inside. It's been sitting outside all winter, so I'm not sure how much we're going to have to do to it, but we're going to do it to it. It's number 60, as you can see, and it's a ray. Not sure what that means. No idea. Maybe somebody else can tell me. I don't know. But yeah. Alright, I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so I set it in the middle just so you can sort of see what's going on. It's going to get a lot cleaner than that, but, you know, starts off like that. No hope for it, right? And then, you know, slowly working its way. Just going on the same, a cheap sanding block from the dollar store. And, you don't really have to use a lubricant if you don't want to. You can use vinegar. I wouldn't use water because that's, well, how it got rusty in the first place. There's still some old paint on it. I may paint it again. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Oh, there we go. You can see over here, it was made in Hamilton, Canada, not too far from where I live. That's pretty cool. I like that. We'll make the name all nice and pretty again. Alright, let's see you when I get more done. So that's the ball that was all covered in rust. It's looking pretty good, I'd say. And I was using this stuff, but it was falling apart real good, so I went and got some better stuff. And we'll see how that does. The inside is a little rusty, a little banged up, but that'll all clean up. I couldn't tell you how old this thing is. I haven't found a date on a stamp or anything yet, but yeah, we'll see how long it actually takes. It might be a couple videos, it might be this video, but as you can see, and that's without any polish or anything. It's looking pretty good. It's got quite a bit of damage on the ball, but that shouldn't hurt anything. Yeah. Okay, so I'll keep working at it and I'll update you as I go. So what I'm doing for the inside, if it'll focus, is I've just wrapped a piece of sandpaper around from the bottom and then turned it so it'll go up in, and then just keep spinning it around, keep spinning it around so it'll clean the inside of the channel for the arm. And that way it just won't keep leaking rust everywhere on it. And then after that, we'll clean up the other ball. This one's looking alright. We'll get it all polished up when we're done with it with some metal polish and rust remover. And then we'll move on to all that mess. So yeah. Alright. Alright. So, this is sometime later. And we've got the handle looking real pretty. That's the handle. It is done on both sides. Considering what it started out as, that's pretty good for me. I like it. You can still see it is very smooth, but you can still see some black parts there. I don't know if you can see that real good. But I've sanded it for a while and that doesn't really seem to want to come out. Now you could get this way finer. You can get some really nice sandpapers and some buffing compounds and make a nice mirror finish on it and all that, but honestly it's a vice. We're really not looking for super fancy here. And to update you on the rest of it, I pulled it apart. It did start moving for me, but it wouldn't come back open, so I pulled it apart that's the mechanism that drives it. You can see the threads inside. We'll get that all cleaned up too. So what it does is on the underside, you have a track and a spring, and it runs it up and down on the spring on the track there, hits the pin inside and moves the jaws open and closed. At least that's what it looks like it's doing, but it's not reopening, so I'm gonna have to figure it out once I got it all clean. But this will make it a lot easier for me to clean it up. We'll get the grinder going again and grind off all this stuff. All that. I'm not going to grind off the numbers or the name or Ray, whatever that is. I'm just going to clean it up. I'll probably do all the numbers and stuff by hand with a little file or some heavier grit sandpaper. Yeah, that's where we're at. So let me clean this little guy up right here, and we'll see what we're working with. Nothing appears to be really snapped off or broken. I mean, it's got some damage on the underside of that there, and it is severely dirty, but the threads, get you in close here, the threads look real nice. There's hardly any rust. There's a little bit of rust there, but that looks pretty good to me. I'm wondering if that rust is from the inside of there. Not sure. But I've done nothing to that except spray it down. So we'll see what happens. I'm making an awful mess of my phone. Yes, I'm wearing steel-toed boots, because if that thing drops on my foot, I'm not going to be happy about it. And neither will my foot. But looking at the arm there, I'd say I've done a pretty good job. I'm liking it. It looks real nice compared to what it started out as. So we'll keep moving on it. I may make this into a couple of videos. I may keep it just as one. We'll see how long it ends up taking me. This may be a couple of videos in a couple of days. Might have to run some heavy sandpaper over that, clean it all up, make it shiny like this thing. And we'll see if I've wasted my time and if it'll actually open and close for me. Alright, so I got this little stop turning piece here. Ran it on the sander for a little bit. This guy here. And clean it up as best we could with that. So, come on camera. There we go. Get it all cleaned up as much as we can. The rest will have to be on by hand. Yeah. The threads look okay. They're a little dirty, but we can clean that up and re-grease it. Alright. Okay, so we're working on this thing, and I found some more numbers. 586, looks like. Now, I didn't do that. I'm taking off as very little material as possible, so I don't damage anything. The device itself has done that over the years. I'm honestly not entirely certain how old it is. It's been in my grandfather's basement for a very long time, and then it was moved outside and spent a year in the snow, and now I'm cleaning it up. See if I can use it. Because I really like it. It's quite big. And it's still in reasonably good shape. So, yeah. Come on, focus. There's a 12 on that side. And maybe a part of another number there. Not entirely certain. But it's pretty heavy. Solid. So that's good. Alright. Well, we'll keep scrubbing away with our sandpaper here. And when I get all this big rust off, we'll move down to some smaller sandpaper and smaller sandpaper. And then, yeah. And then we'll get moving on the big stuff. Okay, so we got this all cleaned up. Looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but then again, nobody's really going to see that inside. So, that's that. And the handle done. That just leaves us with the big stuff. The big stuff. So I'm not going to mess around with the name too much. Hamilton, Canada. I want to preserve that as best as possible. I'll probably just use sandpaper and get in there with that. I got to clean up the bottom because that's real rusty. You got to clean up the sides of this next, and the top, and the inside of the teeth, if you can even see that. Move it up. There we go. Still got okay teeth. Got some big old screws in there. I guess I could take that, see if I could take that off, but I don't want to grind off the teeth there, if you can see them. If this camera, there we go, will focus. Yeah, it's still got teeth, so we'll see if we can preserve those. And on this side, oh, still got some shiny metal here. Yeah, still got some teeth. So we'll go ahead and get the big guy here cleaned up and make it all pretty. Alright. Well, I just want to show you something real quick. It has nothing to do with the project we're working on here, but a little bit. Can we just look through it? See all that? There are little tiny divots in my glasses where pieces of metal banged into them and caused a scratch or a speck. Like, wipe them off. And it's still there. They're real tiny. I don't know if you can see them, but I can. And I'd prefer it was a pair of glasses in my eyeball, so wear them. Don't care who calls you a wuss or whatever. They're important. Anyway, we got it all cleaned up. I said I wasn't going to touch the numbers, and I didn't. So they still got paint on them. Now, I guess you could just repaint this thing, but I want it to look like new again, or as close to it as possible. So I very lightly ran our good buddy angle grinder over here, because nobody wants to do it by hand. Oh. It doesn't look like much, but it certainly is heavy. So it's looking a lot better than it was. This thing here, again, we didn't touch the name or anything. Well, touched a little bit, but That wasn't the intention. I'm going to have to clean all of that up by hand. Get in there with a file and clean all the gunk out of it. Unfortunately, I don't know if you can see real well. Yeah, you can. You really can't get in there with an angle grinder. I'm thinking I might just sand it down with a file, a really good file, and clean it up. And I think this is the pin, that thing, to hold this thing somehow, and that stops it, and that opens up the jaw and closes it. Anyway, when we got it all finished, we'll put it back together and see what we can do with it. Hopefully it works. But for right now, dinner's ready, I hope. And it makes quite the mess, so please only try this in a place that you can clean up easy. Okay, and take a look at the teeth. I did run the grinder over it. It didn't do a very good job, so, and it threw a whole different kind of spark, so that's going to be a high carbon steel set of teeth on it, which is nice. And they're replaceable as well, which I like. And we'll get it cleaned up by hand. Same with there. We'll get that all cleaned up. But for right now, that's going to do it for this video. Have a good day.